The first step for every great mission is a simple, sincere dua. One of the greatest delusions that we have as leaders and community members is that we have to do all the work ourselves. In reality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is waiting to assist us in ways that we can't imagine. A lot of times, the most sincere and honest of us, the ones that are actually the best for leadership, are also the most self-critical. And so we actually take a step back and leave other people who are either less suited for the job, or they might be less aware of their own flaws. They might be not self-critical enough. They might even be given to delusion. We allow a space where those are the types of people that step forward instead. When we turn to the prophetic examples, such as the example of Musa alayhi salam and his whole process of becoming a prophet, we see these lessons about how to balance between being very, very aware and self-critical, but also stepping into the role of leadership that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepared for us. Because Musa alayhi salam was not super confident about his prophetic mission. He was not a type of person that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commissioned him to be a prophet, he was like, all right, it's about time, I got this, let's go. No, he was not at all. Musa alayhi salam was very, very aware of his shortcomings and of the possible things that could impede his message from getting through to Fir'aun and to the people of Fir'aun. And in fact, he voices these to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, قَالَ Rabbi ishrah li sadri. He says, he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to expand his chest, وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي, and make my affair easy, or make my situation and my task easy. وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي, and ease or untie the knot of my tongue. يَفْقَهُ الْقَوْلِ, and make my speech understood. This type of thing wouldn't be said by someone who's just like spilling over with confidence and ego. That Musa alayhi salam was concerned that his message would not be received, or that it would be rejected or dismissed. And he wasn't even putting all the blame on Fir'aun. He was saying that there might be things within me that cause my message to fall onto deaf ears. But the significant intervention that Musa alayhi salam makes here is that rather than just keeping this all inside, rather than just stewing on it and letting it disempower him, he actually takes it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he asks Allah azza wa jalla for help. And he says, please, Allah, you are the one that can make my words understood. You're the one who can make my message reach the hearts. And so do whatever it has to happen. Do whatever has to be done to make it happen that my message is successful, whether it comes to expanding my chest, whether it comes to bringing me calm and ease. And how many times have we seen in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings ease to the believers, especially when they're on the battlefield, and make easy for me my task, and to eliminate or to smooth over my shortcomings. Don't let them be a blocker or something that prohibits the message from reaching its final destination. And we see something very, very essential here, which is that at the end of the day, effects and results are up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can have someone who invests in themselves, who gets all of the training of media literacy and how to present and oratory and rhetoric and everything. They could be the most charismatic speaker in the world. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want that person's message to settle into the hearts of his audience, then it's not going to happen. And just the opposite is true. Somebody with no formal training, somebody with no charisma, someone who's flat, somebody who is maybe boring or uninteresting, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, that person's message will reach exactly how it's supposed to reach. And so we have to realize that there's a paradigm and there is a pattern in here for all of us to follow Musa alayhi salam in his leadership, both in his self-awareness. We have to be aware of our own shortcomings. And in fact, the believers kind of fill in for the gaps and the shortcomings that each one of them has. If somebody else is a specialist in one thing, or somebody else is a specialist in another thing, and you don't have that type of expertise, there's no shame in leaning on them. You have to actually lean on them in order to make up for your own shortcomings. So owning the things that you know that you're not good at, but then also turning it over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do with that what He wills, and not shying away or ceding the job when really you do have what it takes. And maybe even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has specifically chosen you for a particular task and a particular work. We don't accomplish things in spite of all of our shortcomings. We accomplish things with the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the most important thing of all. And when we realize that the most important aspect to success is not just the technique, although that's important, and it's important to invest in improving our skills, but the most important thing is the tawfiq of Allah. Hey, look at that, tawfiq, not technique. We see that pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and removing all of the barriers of Allah being pleased with us is the most important thing.